Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all doing? Y'all doing pretty good? I hope y'all doing good. Hold on. I'm going to build up a little fire here because what better way to chat than have a little fire, right? What better way to chat? Might as well have a little fire. It's awful windy, so I got to be careful with the fire, but I wanted to come on and chat with y'all a little bit about a few things. Sebastian Rogers for a few minutes. And then I want to discuss that March 29th for Harley Morris, Find Harley. March 29th, Flyer Day, Tyler, Texas. Be there, please, if you can. If you're in the area, you reach out by email, whatever. We'll get y'all set up. And we'll go from there. I want to talk a little bit about Summer Wells and the search that's coming up. I want to talk a little bit about Stephane Darman and some of the stuff in that case that are red flags everywhere. CPS, all these things, just like Sebastian Rogers, just like all the other ones. But what I wanted to do is with the Sebastian Rogers cases, I wanted to take a few minutes of y'all's time to discuss some of the things that I saw. Let me light this candle. Some of the things that I saw in that interview that I haven't had a chance to really discuss because I've had some actually technology setbacks, but we're getting it fixed. Anyway, allegedly these are my opinions. That's, all allegedly, just take it as my opinions. This is something that I feel that what I saw when I watched this, right? What I got from her face expressions and body language that I grabbed from Katie during that most recent talk, right? And, she spoke by herself and then she spoke with Pigfest and whatever that festival stuff was he wore. I can't believe they didn't wear green. I'm still disappointed. But, trigger warnings, of course, times 100 million in all of these cases. And y'all's comments, y'all's alone not to reflect the channel. We do our research together. Sorry we haven't had fire chat. We haven't had the best weather, actually. But now it seems to be okay. Other than windy, at least we got clear skies, little clouds, but not too bad. But I did want to come on and chat a little bit about it because watching that interview. Oh, and say prayers for little Dane, the missing 2-year-old we've covered today. They've searched, there's 183 searchers on the ground today, volunteer-wise. Then there's also 18 or 19 detectives, I think 49 law enforcement personnel, fire and rescue, canines, boats, drones. They're doing it. Fixed wing, I think aircrafts are flying at night. I think there's a lot going on for this young man. We know he loves water. He loves cars. He's fearless, according to his mom. He doesn't have any fear. He's just a little country boy. So prayers that he is found safe. It's truly heartbreaking. Such a little baby to be vanishing like that. And I don't know how he got away from his parents like that, out of their sight, but he did. And pray to God he's found. And so let me get back into the Sebastian Rogers because I do. After watching that, right, that her talk and her speak, really, really, I want to say, it's more or less the way she said things. And some other creators have already talked about it a little bit, which I think is amazing that everybody's catching on to this woman. And our opinions are a lot alike. Because I had done a video, but I messed up because there was a radio playing the other day, and I couldn't do it. The day after, actually the night that thing released, I did a video. And since that little alarm clock radio over there popped on and was playing music really soft, it flagged it. So I didn't want to get striked, so I just didn't post it. Because it was pretty much the whole video, all 39 minutes fire chat. I'm so sorry. But, now it's being talked about, which is a good thing. Because whenever she was asked certain things, some of the answers she gave blew my mind. And one of them being when she talked about the birthday, like she almost really messed up there again. And we know that she does this. That's why she doesn't talk. I don't think she'll talk again. I think that was her final blow. I don't think she's going to talk again. I think she's too worried she's going to come out with the truth and she doesn't want it to be out. In my opinion, I feel that way, that's why I think she's just gonna, I think that's the last time we hear from Katie. We know it's not the last time we hear from him, but it's the last time we hear from her, I feel. I don't think she'll talk again. I think she's too scared. But she did it to herself, right? Because she almost was pretty much like he would have been 16, right? Like we saw that, right? Kind of like what she had said in the beginning, which I always go back to that clip, right? When I caught it months and months ago about how she was saying it was already too late, right? We know we know what she's trying to get at. But when you, as a mother, have an autistic child that's missing, and you've allowed all this to go on with CPS and everything else, and allowed the essay, all these things to go on. I don't think she ever got him the correct counseling. I don't think so. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe she did. Maybe she's a wonderful mother and I just don't see it. I don't know. But anytime you're asked, like, what do you, when she said, ask about what you would say to your son if he's listening, or, most parents are going to come on, they're going to be like, oh my God, if you can hear me, Sebastian, please, please, please just run. Run and call 911. Run to the nearest store. Run and grab the next person next to you. Just start screaming, throw a fit, whatever you got to do to be known. Please, please, please. If you have my son, please, I'll pay the bounty. I'll pay a ransom, whatever you want. If you can hear me, Sebastian, please, it's Mom. We love you. We want you home. Please, please, do your best to try to get away or to scream. Or, that's the things that would have been said. And she sits back and looks up at the heavens above and makes that statement of, if he could hear me. How do you know he can't hear you? I've said this before months ago on a video on another topic she made. How do you know this? Just like the Christmas thing, right? When they talked about Halloween being one of his favorite holidays, was an empty seat, it wasn't, that's their way of grieving, right? Okay. Then when he talked about, Christmas was his birthday, right? We know this came out right after his birthday. I think the day after his birthday they spoke, or a couple days later. But, he just had a birthday. It was an empty seat. We weren't able to celebrate. It hurts our heart. And then Christmas is coming up, and it's going to be another empty seat, right? The things that they have said and the things that they have put out not meaning to, I think, are the way they didn't mean it to come out that way, and it was too late. Once you put it out, it's out. And those type things, that really got me when he said December, because you were still 3 weeks from Christmas, roughly 2 to 3 weeks from Christmas when that was said. How did you know he wasn't going to be there for Christmas? How did you know that? You didn't know that, right? And if you do know that, then you know way more, right? You know way, way more, and you got some explaining to do. That's kind of what I grabbed from what she said. And because she's the one in the background was saying, well, Valentine's is coming up too. And like trying to say, hey, all these holidays are going to be empty seats. How do you know this? How did you know it was going to make it to a year? How did you know all these things were going to occur? Just like you say, you're looking at your own photos. You keep your photos close and you grieve. Well, you took pictures of him eating that night, whether it was to say he ate a salad dressing for the first time or he cleaned his plate like Christopher said. None of y'all stories make sense. They change. It's a pattern. It's like that candle right there, right? See it flickering? See how it flickers, right? That's what their stories are doing. They keep changing them and changing them and changing them. That's why I've always said, I wonder what they gave law enforcement. And now that we have a better understanding of, most likely, TBI and are not communicating with the prophets. And I didn't think they were. I've told y'all this for months. I don't feel like they were. I don't think they would have been saying the things they were saying if they were cooperating. I think once they got their lawyers, that was it. They left them alone. They say, okay, y'all want to lawyer up? That's fine. We're not going to tell y'all anything. Right? I think they're leaving them alone, letting them dig their own hole. And that's what they're doing by these interviews. Is just, when you come out, basically what you're coming out and saying is, FBI didn't do their job. Secret Service didn't do their job. The man that you seem to talk so highly of, Eric Craddock, the sheriff of your county, didn't do his job. That's what the prophets are telling, is that those law enforcement, not one of all these many law enforcement that he says, it's state, it's local, it's federal, it's FBI, it's Secret Service. He was all fire and rescue, all these people he was naming in the beginning. He's now saying that they're all wrong about that video. He's going against what they're saying. How? Why? I thought you trusted them so much. They were lined up down the road, remember? All the way down the road they're lined up for your child. They weren't for you, they were for your child. Your autistic child, Sebastian Wayne Jerk Rogers, that you fail to say his name every time you have a platform to talk on. And if you do say his name, it's once, or it's him. Say his name. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, if they don't see this, and they don't do something soon, if they don't somehow charge them with something, whether it be neglect, whether it be abuse, whether it be the felony count of hitting a child with a belt with autism, if they don't do something soon, it's going to be somewhere else. They have to do something soon. This has been a year. And I know that, like old man told me at work, hey, they're not going to arrest him yet until they know where he is, because if they do, whoever has him can harm him or get rid of him if they are caught, because they're not going to want to be tied to it. They're not going to want to go down. So I look at it as, okay, well, maybe they would let him just go and he'd show up at a gas station, right? But I know they don't look at it that way, and I get it. They look at it as they want to know where he is, know that they can get to him, then they'll make the arrest. And that might be possible. But we could be waiting a long time for that. And I understand time is the first 72 hours is the most critical. We know they knew something solid in 72 hours, because we know that they most likely they had filed for that landfill warrant and all that really early in this case to get it by the seventh day. I think they had to have applied for that early. We know that they had all their cell phones. We know they had all their things. And one thing also that got me was, I don't think it was a misunderstanding about his truck Wi-Fi and all that pinging at the house. He's saying it was on the 26th, but I don't know. Was it the 26th? Was it the 25th? Was it the 24th? Was it the 23rd? I don't know how many times it was. I've always said I believe he was there that morning on that crane. I think he was there that morning. I think he got there at 9:43 or 9:46 p.m. that night. That's when I think he showed up there. That's why he made that so clear. That's why he called her then. And they spoke till around midnight. That was more or less to say, look, I was here by 9, at least at 9:40 I was here. That way he kind of had that. But all in all, that leaves perfect time to meet them outside the roadhouse a little ways down the road and get back in time. It does. But her looking up there like that, I know I'm changing subject, bouncing around, but her looking up there in the sky like that and saying it that way really showed me that she doesn't feel that her son is here, right? There's too many signs that she's doing that make it look like he's not here, right? The way she's doing things. And I don't know if she's doing that purposely, if she's subconsciously, I don't know. I really don't. I'm building that fire up for y'all guys. But I really don't know. I know the truth needs to come out, and something needs to be done soon. I mean, we thought Christmas, we thought Thanksgiving. Here we are. Now we're, March, and still nothing. So, I don't know. We know the only video, to me, the video that they need to be working on with their PI or whatever, that, that investigator or whatever, that called the Popo about the visual, about names being not on it. I don't know what all that drama was about, but they need to be working on the Tinkerbell Live video. If you want to break something down that law enforcement has not said it has no relevance, that's the one to break down. So why don't y'all take y'all's team and work on that video? instead of one that is a man walking his dog. Let that man relax. Let that man have peace. He's your neighbor. If you need to run it down, go knock on his door. Go ring his doorbell. He lives in your neighborhood. But I think you're afraid to talk to your neighbors. I think all your neighbors think you're suspicious, and that's why you're not speaking to your neighbors. That's what I feel. Because they could easily go down there, like they did the other one, and they tried to change the video, remember, and put new cameras and make it look like this angle and that angle. They did try a little bit to debunk it. Why aren't you trying to find out what it is? Instead of saying it's a couple in a car arguing, and then that story changes to this story, and then this story changes to that story. You know, break that video down. Explain to us that video. Who is that? Why is it coming out of your back door, your backyard area? Because we know it's that area of their home is where that source comes back to. So who is that? And who was in your back? Aren't you worried about who was in your backyard at 3 o'clock in the morning? I would be worried about who was in my back. If my child had gone missing in the middle of the night, I'd be worried about who was in my backyard, by my back porch. And that'd be the one I'd be focused on, not one that's a man walking his dog. But, you know, they've always tried to push that construction site, just like the dog sense, just like all these things they've tried to push that law enforcement has said, nope, 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 nope. Anything law enforcement has said no to, they pick it up. Why? It's because they don't have a relationship with law enforcement. What did he just say the other night? Well, some of us have a good relationship with law enforcement, some of us have a bad. Okay, so now we know. Thank you for separating, because Seth talks highly of them now, said he's 150% confident they're doing their job. They're communicating with him daily. He's calling them daily. We know now, evidently, y'all aren't talking to him at all. And I think that's more or less not only just for the lawyer reasons, but I think they're just shying away from that. And you know, can you imagine if your child was missing? You know, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was 15 when he vanished from Hendersonville, Tennessee, home on, well, they're saying in the area, which I say it vanished from home, February 25th, 2024. His favorite color is green. He's a gamer. He loves Minecraft. He loves all these games, Call of Duty. He loves going fishing with his dad. He loves just chilling with his dad. He loves his pets, his dogs, his cats, his snakes, well, they don't have a snake no more, they got rid of it. But anyway, he's an animal lover. He doesn't love the grass. He doesn't love bugs. He doesn't want to be outside barefooted because he's scared of ants. He has a fear of ants, and they hurt. Believe me, I've been bit by fire ants. I know they hurt. And so I get his point. Nobody wants to be bit by fire ants, no matter if you're 40 years old or 15 years old. He just had a birthday recently, December 7th. He turned 16 years old. So, of course, I always say, Sebastian, if you're out there and you can hear someone, run, buddy, run. Try to get help, right? If somebody's out there that has you, that wants money, ask for money, right? Make a demand, something, right? We need to do the things that his mom and stepdad aren't doing. And it's just there's so many things that don't add up. The retention pond. I still keep going back to that hat that was found. And that, it might be nothing. But, you know, that dog did jump in that water. And if there's scent in that water, as y'all saw in that video when Ruby got in the water and was trying to sniff in the water, dogs sometimes pick up scents in water. And maybe that dog jumped in that water because of that hat. I don't know. No idea. All we know is law enforcement said 0 outside the home scent of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. 0. You know, he was last seen by his mother, Katie Proudfoot, after he left. We last saw him leaving the roadhouse on footage around 6:25 p.m. on the 25th. That's the last that we visually seen him leaving the roadhouse. After he scarfed down his food with his mom and snapping photos, looking around like, oh, I guess now she's looking for a waitress. That's what they said. But I don't think you look for a waitress like that. I think you say, hey, ma'am, like 4 or 5 of them walked right by her. Why didn't you just grab one of them, right? Go back and watch the clip, buddy. There's plenty of wait staff that walked around. There was one right behind her for the longest time standing there. All you had to do is say, hey, please, ma'am, or sir, come here, please. Like, that's it. They were all over. You weren't looking for wait staff. There's some of the things they say. I don't think they think about them. I think they just come out. They want to talk so bad, but they have nothing to talk about. They can't tell the truth. And maybe there is truth to some of the things they're saying, right? But if I was to sit here and look at the heavens and be like, if you could hear me, what are y'all going to think? Well, just like it sounded. And if I'm going to sit here and say, hey, no, those dogs follow my child. But everybody out there, every law enforcement presence, whether it be FBI, Secret Service, federal, local, state, official, whatever he said, all these different ones, they say no. But they say yes. Okay, they say this video has been cleared. It's not of relevance. It's done. They say no, it's not. It's Sebastian. Everything law enforcement debunks, they say is fact, or it can prove something, or it's a road we need to go down. If you're so worried about a road to go down, why don't you go down the road of, okay, there was no sin outside the home, so where could he have gone? How did he get out? Okay, the only thing we know, the only real solid thing we know is that 2 flashlights or some sort of light source was seen outside that home sometime in the wee morning hours. And we can say confidently it's before the trash truck got there around 5-something a.m. So we know, I'm not going to specifically say, oh, it's 3:10, because we don't know. Supposedly camera could have been stuck, whatever. We don't know. But sometime in those wee morning hours, and according to Mom, right, according to Katie, it was extremely super dark that night. Remember, she made that really clear to us. That it was very, very dark that night. That night was really dark. Like, that came from her mouth. So we know it was really dark. How she knew, I don't know. How she knew it was dark at 2 or 3 in the morning, I really don't know. But she knew that. She went to bed at midnight. So I don't know how, but maybe she dreamed it. I don't know. But we know that her story's changed so many times in the beginning. We know they praised law enforcement in the beginning. Now they're not. And I know, like I said, that has to do with lawyers. It does. It makes a big difference. But nothing adds up. And it's a pattern. Y'all see the pattern? Pattern is law enforcement says no relevance to this. They say yes. So if okay, what if law enforcement right now was to say that Tinkerbell lights were no relevance? Would then they say yes it is? We're gonna dig on that one now? I don't know. But I know if law enforcement was gonna say that video had no relevance completely, they would have said it a long time ago. Eric Craddock made it specifically clear. He wouldn't tell us what it was, which means that most likely they know what's in that video, and he's not debunking that video. He said it might play a role. He can only tell us so much, but the main focus here is on that video. Is it's not like being treated like the other ones. Nothing. We're not hearing that on this video. So to me, that's the one thing they got. And I'm sure a few tips that might raise red flags. We don't know what tips have come in. All we know that, for one, Mama Bear and Step Bear never give a tip line to call. They never say, call this number if you see anything. They don't beg for tips. They just say, if you have a tip, call 911. That's it. They talk bad about Seth and his team. Why, I don't know, because they said he was Sebastian's biggest cheerleader, biggest fan. He was a wonderful father, but now that the limelight is switched and we're 2 military guys being looked at funny over here, but yet the dad's being communicating with law enforcement, has a big team and army around him fighting for Sebastian, and now they want to flip the side to say, hey, he's getting all this attention and we're not getting nothing. But they brought everything on themselves, so they only have themselves to blame. But he did say, we thank everybody. They said they wanted, Katie said she wants to thank everybody that's searching, spreading awareness for his son. Great. There's a lot of people searching, so don't hate on them, right? If you want to thank them, why do you sue them, right? Make it make sense. Like, I don't know what all went on in that case. That's why I haven't ever got involved. But I'm just saying, if you want to thank everybody that's spreading awareness, then why are you trying to shut them down and sue them? Why are you only allowing the ones that follow your narrative to talk about the case, and everybody else, they're no good, right? I don't understand that. Like, what they need to do, honestly, is they need to go back on Nancy Grace. And they need to try to set the record straight. I don't think they will ever do that because I think they're terrified of Nancy Grace. But because the first thing she's going to say is, why didn't you take my poly? He's going to say, TBI told me not to. She's going to say, no, that's not true. Problem is, he can't get over on her because she knows all the laws. So he's not going to win against Nancy Grace. And if he wants a big global platform, there you go. Go back. She invited you back. Go back. You should have went back when Seth was on. But he didn't want to face Seth. Because then Seth had now known about CPS and all these things. Chris didn't want to communicate with him because for fear that he might bring up some of that. So they only seem to be following their narrative of this video that has nothing but a man walking his dog. They spread all these things about Christmas and holidays and things that weren't even here yet, that the empty seat's going to be there. How did they know those things? She said pretty much it was already too late in the beginning. She pretty much said it was extra dark that night. She said he went with no shoes, no coat, no nothing, no cell phone, no nothing, no backpack. But yet she went to the school, but the backpack was at home. His shoes were at home. Everything was at home. So why would she go look at the school? He's not going to go barefooted. She knows that. She knows her son that well to know he's not going to go outside barefoot. If he would have taken out the trash like she said, the dogs would have found that scent. We got to remember what they're saying. 0 scent picked up outside the home. Scent inside the home was picked up. 0 outside the home. So that makes, we got to go by that, right? We got to say, okay, then that means there's no scent of this young man outside that home. Right? There's not. So we have to go by that. And I'm sorry, but no matter what we do, we have to go by it. And so I'm still building up firewood. I'm burning a lot of wood for y'all guys. But, Sebastian Wayne, Dick Rogers, the answers are still there somewhere. We just haven't found them. The truth is there somewhere. We just haven't found it. I pray to God law enforcement really does have something good. I do pray for that. Because we all want justice in this case. We all want this young man found no matter what the case. We all have faith. We all have hope, right? We have to have that. Just like in the Dane little 2-year-old, I have hope that child might be out there in the woods somewhere. He could have hurt his ankle. He could be sitting under a tree. I don't know. I need to check updates. I haven't yet, but because I had the Ruby at the vet and some things today that took some time. But and nothing bad. It's just I wanted to check. I thought it was a thorn in her foot, but it wasn't. It was actually just like an old little scar on her pad. And I thought maybe it was some kind of thorn or glass, but thank God it wasn't nothing. It's just, it was really a busy day. But anyway, something has to give. And I know we talk about it a lot and we spread awareness a lot. It's about saying his name, spreading his face. And that's what we're doing. It's bringing awareness for him. It's only one-sided because they've made it one-sided. But you know who's faded in all this? Is the Bower Sox names have kind of faded out in all this, which I'm shocked because I still thought they'd be talked about a lot. But it's okay. Justice will come, I feel, I hope, I pray, right? We all pray for that. Summer Wells, I think justice will come in this case as well, too. Eventually it will. And, we have our geared up search coming in June, guys. Thank all y'all for all y'all's emails and everybody's setting up their schedules. And it's so great. We're going to have a good big search. I'm working right now with a leader from Search and Rescue that I'm trying to get to come to organize everything to where he can say, okay, I want dogs here. I want drones here. I want, to help me to where we cover that area in the best way possible, right? Sometimes it doesn't hurt to bring in somebody that has more knowledge than we do. I want to make sure that the maps and the grids are all done out first, so then everybody has one, right, in their pocket. Okay, a laminated map right here, a little one, fold up in your pocket. Now we know, okay, when you get to this area, you're going to check this area off, right? That's what I want to be able to do. So when we all meet back for lunch or whatever, after 4 or 5 hours of searching, okay, this area has been covered. All right, now let's eliminate this section. Let's go to this section, right? Because there's 3 different target areas we want to search there. Then we're going to do some searching in Hendersonville. We're going to do some searching in Kingsport and some other places. Ronald Dumas Jr., we want to search that area. I know right now they're extensively searching an area. Hopefully they've got something that put them to this spot. I'm hoping. I haven't checked the update to see if he was found yet, but I know they did have, I think, a pretty good targeted area. So that'd be great because we have not forgot about Ronald. Father of three, he needs to be found as well. I don't know if any of them have been arrested yet. I know this is, all on the run. Hopefully, we'll get some answers for him as well. And little Summer, hopefully this summer we can make a difference. Hopefully we can turn up something, right? Don't leave no stone unturned. Right now we have 6 dogs that are going to make it. And we're going to utilize dogs in different areas away from just regular searchers to where we can work the dogs from the back section, because a lot of dogs like to work by themselves. So we want to give everybody that 400, 500, 600 feet of space in between, to where there's no, anything. It goes smoothly, right? That's what I want it to do, is go smoothly. And so there's a lot of areas we want to target, and I think little Summer Wells, we need to keep her face out there. I know that the case is supposedly cold as ice. I don't feel that way, but some people do. I feel like the more we can talk about her again and bring her face, we need to put her face back out there again, like we're doing Sebastian, and get the heat back up again and see what these parents are going to do. We know now they don't live in that area, so now it opens the doors for different areas to be searched. Now, I don't know. It seemed like they stayed just long enough in that area before they burned off, right? So I don't know what that's going to mean. I don't know why they left that area. I don't know. But they did stay awful close for a long time. And so little Summer deserves answers too. The truth needs to come out. Not saying that it's going to, but I pray it does. Just like little Stephanie, little 13-year-old, well, she's 14 now, little Stephanie, in New Haven, Maine, moved from Texas to Maine in 2020, and CPS and all these things were involved, and the dad is now declining to search and wants search warrants, and that's a big mess. She had a phone, but they have no power, no running water, so I don't know how she would even had Wi-Fi to communicate with anyone. I don't think she was communicating with anyone. I don't think law enforcement hasn't said that she was communicating that I can find, but maybe it is. I know there's not a lot out on her case, which is heartbreaking. It's starting to pick up a little heat now, which is good. I think it needs to. It's at the 160-day plus mark. So now it needs to really start generating some push. I think Sebastian case and is helping push this case too. This little angel deserves answers as well. I think this family, they can at least arrest them for abuse and CPS. And then maybe we'll get some answers. I think those other children need to be taken away from that home. They have no running water, no power. I think those other 3 need to be taken out of there before one of them vanishes. I don't know. Waiting 24 hours to report your 13-year-old missing does not make sense. Especially not that little girl in that cold weather all night, and then no. And they know the answers. I believe they hold the answers. In my opinion, they hold the answer. That father holds the answers. And that mother, I think, is just afraid. Because I think he abuses her too. I think he abuses all of them. And I think the grandpa might be abusive too. And it's truly sad that her little case has slipped through the cracks. And, we're going to push it. I told you, we're going to push it at least once a week. We're going to push it. Push it, push it, push it. And I was going to do one this morning, and then the little Dane case broke, and I had to get him out there. But, we're going to work on that. We're going to try to search some of those areas, but it's going to be really hard without warrants. We're going to try. I've reached out to a few people around the community because there is a big gathering there for her, for being such a small community. A lot of people want answers. A lot of people feel that the parents are guilty, and the parents aren't searching the parents. And they've said, hey, there's some areas we could really utilize the dog in. if you want to, schedule it, which it's going to have to be summer because it's too cold to go there in the winter. Ruby would not. There's no way, the ground's frozen. It just wouldn't work. You can't dig in frozen ground anyway. So we do want to wait till maybe end of June, July, August, somewhere around in there when it's the warmer months, early September. She went missing on the 23rd of September. Wasn't reported missing until the 24th of September. They waited 24 hours plus to report her missing. Or how much longer did they wait? That child could have been missing for 4 or 5 days. We just don't know. That's what's scary. I think the last one to see her was like 10 days prior to that. So this child might not have walked in the woods that day. She might have walked in, it could have been 4 or 5 days before that. It's just like the little Caleb Collins case to me. It's slipping away. Like CPS, they moved out of Texas and ran from CPS, and they hid such a rural area that they just couldn't find them. But now I know they're hot on their trail. And I've sent some emails out to the Texas Board of CPS and sent all the information and what's going on in this case. And they already knew about it, but some of them didn't. So I'm sent a bunch of emails. Hey, check it out. They're here. See if you can get some kind of, I'm worried about those other kids. Are they going to vanish in the woods like that? Because I don't think little Stephanie vanished in those woods. And I know they have to look at all avenues that somebody could have got this child, but I don't think she was communicating with anyone. And why would the father be declining to search? Why would the parents be declining to search? Right? And the way he tells it is, he just sits up there with his little goatee and his camouflage shirt and is like, that smirk on his face. He's like, well, that cheap little $20 flip phone that we bought her, but she said she had grandpa's phone. So I'm so confused on his lies. But anyway, it didn't have Wi-Fi. It didn't have internet. She had no social media, according to them. But yet somehow she was able to pick up Wi-Fi in the middle of nowhere with no Wi-Fi and no power. Somehow she was able to do that. I don't even know how they charge these phones. I don't know. And then all those posts he made that one day, I think it was like November the 23rd, like 501 posts on Facebook. Where was he sitting at to get Wi-Fi? I don't know. But maybe it made a little money from some of these people interviewing him about his daughter. I don't know. But, when you decline to search, nobody should interview this man. Nobody should give him the time of day. I think he needs to be arrested. I think the mother needs to be arrested. I think at all is at least he's abusive and those kids are in danger. The other kids are in danger. And whether the truth is going to come out for little Steph, I don't know. We're going to keep digging. And I'm just waiting on a few emails to come back from some locals there and I'm trying to put a timeline together because I don't feel like it was the 23rd. I feel like it could have been before that. And who knows? It could have been. Look at little Caleb Collins. 2 months before? There's no telling, guys. And the odds of her getting into a fight with her sister over chores, I would like them to be really invested in talking to that sister and seeing if that is true, right? I think those parents, which we know they would never take a lie detector test. They're not dumb. They're declining to search. They're not going to do that. But anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. That fire is just battling out here. But I did want to take a little time to discuss these three. Little Summer, the search coming up in June. I'm geared up. I'm ready. I'm pre-packed. I'm overachieving. I'm already ready. I know all y'all are ready too. Sebastian Rogers, we're planning a search. We're going to plan a search for him again. Different area this time. Opposite direction of everything else. And then, Stephanie, that's going to have to be like August, September for the weather to be pretty enough to search. And it's so far up there. It's going to be a long haul, but it's okay. We'll get there. We have to. Hopefully, maybe they'll find her before then, but I don't know. I know that little girl did. I don't believe she vanished in those woods. I think she was put in those woods. But that's just allegedly my opinion. So don't take it as a grain of salt, but I don't know, guys. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Prayers for all the runaways. They run for a reason. All the missing. They need justice. They need our prayers, right? They do. So say a little extra prayer for all of them tonight. Little Dane too. Little Harley Morris coming up March 29th, Flyer Day. Can't forget about that. Tyler, Texas. Can't forget about Harley. Find Harley. Uh, we need to do some things like find Stephanie and find Summer and find somebody. We need to start these little things and generate the same. Try to use some of this group. I know a lot of y'all that have reached out are willing to travel to search, which is amazing. That you're willing to take your time out and spend your money to travel and search. That's amazing. That's what we need. It's the bigger group we can build, the better. And that's what it's about, is trying to build a big group that we can just go case to case, right? That, try to utilize people in different states that, hey, I can't get there this fast, but maybe y'all 10 can get there right now and start searching, and then you can share drone footage. We can share these things and I can look at it and other people can look at it and we can see maybe if we see something y'all didn't see, or, it's just all about, working together as teamwork. So that's what I think needs to happen. But anyway, justice for Sebastian, justice for Summer, justice for Stephanie, justice for Ollie Morris. He's still missing too. And he vanished in thin air that night. He's got to be somewhere. Just like Nikki McCann, Suzanne Simpson, all of them. They're all missing. We need to keep them all in the spotlight. So let's do that, guys. All right? We're going to get out of here. We're going to go take a shower. We're going to eat. And that fire's about out. That wind is so bad. That fire kind of makes me nervous when it's that windy. So we had a good fire. So that's worth good tonight. So y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We love y'all, guys. We'll talk to you on the next one. Justice for all. All right, guys. Trigger warnings always. Allegedly, in my opinion. Y'all be good. Be safe. We love y'all, guys. We'll talk on the next one. All right, bye.